This is my Selmer Mark 6 alto saxophone. I recently had this refurbished because I knew right away that it was a valuable brand and model saxophone. And after it was out of the shop, I played it and I knew that was true. While some will say it depends on when this saxophone was manufactured in Selmer's process, I'm sure that there is truth to that. I trust them. I would say that this saxophone is easy to play. It has great projection than the Kyleworth saxophone that I own. And you could cut through in jazz clubs with this saxophone with a unique character that is unmatched. And I would say that's evident as soon as you play the saxophone. You can sort of play it right away and know that you have a vibrant horn that resonates and projects across other saxophone players when you're playing it. I'm really glad that I put in the money to get this overhauled because it certainly needed it, and now the potential has been reclaimed on this saxophone, so any saxophone player really could enjoy it. Luckily, I was given this quality Selmer Mark 6 by a generous family friend of mine who was the original owner. I invested about $1,200 into this fantastic horn to have it overhauled at a prominent repair shop in New York City, namely by Perry Ritter. That's Perryritter. Now, the retail value of this Selmer Mark 6 alto saxophone in great condition like this is valued at around $10,000. And in my view as a saxophone player, it was entirely worth the money to get this instrument overhauled in addition to the increase in retail price. It's easy to identify that this is a Mark 6 because of the name and the Roman numeral here. Here I can also identify where it was made, which is France, and also the serial number, which is M90312. Here you can see some of the patents that are included on some of the mechanisms or design iterations of the saxophone. Some of the words you can see here are Henry Selmer Paris, Fabrique in France, made in France, Selmer, New York Elkhart, London, and made in France. I would say that it's worth it to get a Mark 6 because it's a great saxophone with amazing tonal quality. It may even become my main instrument. The thing that stands out about this horn is that it easily resonates in terms of sound when it's played. This horn is built for belting out the sound. Additionally, when this was built, I learned that this saxophone had the best action of the keys, or key mechanism for the saxophone of its time. This makes it a little bit more sense for me as a piano technician, since the saxophones available now at Selmer are so reasonably priced. That's to say that Selmer really set the stage for the key action mechanisms of the saxophone all the way back then, and we still inherit these same key mechanisms in the saxophones that are built today. So since Selmer invested the money to make the key actions of this saxophone better, we can now benefit with lower price saxophone these days, even though they are built with better quality. You can see that this saxophone also has engravings of its own. You'll notice that the overall size of the bell is consistent with other saxophones. Some professional horns of today have a larger bell like my high school saxophone, my Kyleworth, whereas this one has a slightly smaller bell. The pros of this saxophone is that it has a modernized action, just like modern saxophones. This saxophone is a vintage classic collector's item. This has a distinct and unforgettable character of sound. It's great for belting out sound and cutting other saxophone players. And this saxophone has a low B-flat key. The cons about this saxophone is that it doesn't include a high F-sharp key. The fingering always takes a little bit to get used to on a new horn. And lastly, playing the saxophone makes you fall in love with it because of how easy it is to project a character quality sound. I would recommend buying this saxophone if you're a collector of vintage Selmers. Myself, I couldn't give this saxophone away. I would also buy it if you're lucky enough to have the money. This alto saxophone is worth it. Also get it if you need a vintage horn that has character, resonance, and style. I wouldn't encourage you to buy this if you don't play or value saxophones, if it's out of your price range, or if you have a son or daughter who's playing the saxophone and they're not serious about it. Make sure that they're serious about the saxophone first before you get them a really nice quality vintage scarce saxophone just like this one. Now, the reason why this saxophone is so expensive is because it has an internationally recognized brand name. Much like other products that carry big brand names, the primary reason why Selmer saxophones are so expensive is because of the good reputation of the company. Beyond cherishing Selmer vintage horns, Selmer is a reputable brand that carries its weight in its new products to this day. Selmer made slight modifications over time within the lifespan of the production of Mark VI saxophones. As the years went by, Mark VI saxophones evolved, and even within that time frame, each model was not exactly the same. Typically, instrument manufacturers save product evolutions for each subsequent model or version. Intra-model improvements are known to have occurred for this Mark VI saxophone. That's why it's important to know the age of this serial number. Now, in my opinion, if you are an intermediate to professional grade saxophone player, you're going to be able to get this saxophone to resonate easily and project with a quality character sound. Well, I hope you liked my review of my Selmer Mark VI saxophone. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comment section.